Shisui Uchiha was done dirty. Now Shisui is actually a pretty legendary character in the Naruto-verse, with a lot of people praising him. He's also a surprisingly popular character. When the Naruto popularity poll results came out, Shisui was number 4, outranking Kakashi, Sasuke, Obito, Jiraiya, and many others. So what little that we see of him seems to have resonated pretty well with the fans. But that's the thing, we really only see very little of him. In the manga itself, he's only either mentioned by characters, or he has a brief appearance in a flashback. He does make some appearances in the anime and the game stories though, but the anime kinda doodles on him by having him get his ass kicked by Danzo. Danzo's the same guy that gets killed 12 times by Sasuke. The game rendition is actually my favorite one because we get to see Shisui Susanoo in action, and while the story itself is most likely not canon, Shisui can be seen wielding the same drill that his Susanoo wields in the Naruto Global Popularity Poll winner's artwork, sketched by Kishimoto himself. So you can actually make the claim that the Susanoo itself and its weapons are canon. There's also a novel interpretation of the Danzo fight, where Danzo targets Shisui with a group from the Foundation and has an Aburame clansman paralyze Shisui with his bugs, which is how Danzo managed to get the upper hand and steal Shisui's eye. Now since there's no manga version, the novel is usually viewed as the canon way of how Shisui's fight with Danzo went down, which is not too bad for Shisui scaling wise, because he was at a very clear disadvantage, and it also means that Danzo didn't just straight up overpower Shisui. In today's video, I'll be going over his lore and his background, and I'll move on to his abilities and how I personally think that he was a wasted character. Shisui Uchiha is probably, I'd say, like the 5th most popular Uchiha after Sasuke, Itachi, Obito, and Madara. Now despite the limited appearances he makes, he does play a more important role than a lot of the secondary characters in the plot, mostly in his influence in Itachi and the eye that he had stolen by Danzo. Simply put, Shisui to Itachi is kinda like what Itachi was to Sasuke, and Itachi gets a lot of his ideologies and jutsu from him. You might not know this, but it was Shisui that employed crows before Itachi, and possibly taught Itachi how to summon them. He also frequently used genjutsu in combat, which is a trait that Itachi adopted later. Another thing that Itachi inherited from Shisui was his devotion for the village, or the Will of Fire, as Shisui agreed with Itachi's stance against the coup and wanted to resolve the conflict without bloodshed by using his Mangekyo Sharingan Genjutsu Kotoamatsukami. However, this would lead to him being targeted by Danzo and ultimately his demise. It's unclear what Shisui would have done had he been present for the Uchiha clan massacre. However, Itachi believed that Shisui would have protected the clan to the very end, even from Itachi himself. At least that's what it says in the Itachi novel. Now I don't know if that means that he would have fought Itachi had he been alive, but maybe he'd genjutsu him or at least try to talk him out of it. However, Shisui did kinda leave Itachi with a hot mess, and his dying wish was for Itachi to protect the village and the clan's name, not the clan itself. So I honestly don't know what he was expecting Itachi to do. Shisui is the reason Itachi awakens his Mangekyo Sharingan, and it's the reason why he killed himself. Shisui is also the youngest Uchiha we know to have awakened the MS at only 7 years old. It was his Mangekyo that helped popularize his stature across the 5 great nations, as both Ao and Killer Bee praise his skills, would be calling him the strongest genjutsu user in the Uchiha clan. It's also what caused Danzo and the Foundation to target him. With his eyes, Shisui is able to enter the opponent's mind and make them go through phantom experiences and manipulate them. It worked so that the victim wouldn't even know that they're being manipulated. Danzo was able to use it to manipulate Mifune to further his own agenda and try to make himself the leader of the Shinobi Alliance. He would have been able to get away with it if it wasn't for Ao. The next time we see Shisui's Kotoamatsukami used is when the crow that Itachi implanted inside of Naruto awakens in response to Itachi's Mangekyo Sharingan. though Itachi wasn't the intended target. The crow is able to free Itachi from Kaoto's control, even though the reanimated ninja are brought back at the complete control of their reviver. What's even more impressive is that Itachi doesn't snap out of the Genjutsu's control, even though he's fully aware that he's under its effects, unlike Mifune that was snapped out almost immediately after Danzo was called out, which led people to believe that there are two versions of Kotoamatsukami in each eye. Now I'm not gonna dive much deeper into this, as Swag Kage already has a video that goes into great detail explaining this. It's also stated that the jutsu can only be used once every 10 years, but that could just be a handicap for users that aren't Shisui himself, since Shisui was only 16 when he died. Now as he has both his Mangekyo, Shisui is able to use a Susanoo, which is arguably canon as I described earlier, since Kishimoto himself designed it. And his Susanoo wields a drill and can apparently shoot off multiple chakra bullets according to the game Escapades. Like all the Uchiha, he's able to use the Fireball Jutsu and multiple different Genjutsus. In the anime, he's able to use a Genjutsu that messes up with the opponent's mind, and what's more impressive is that he's able to cast it on multiple enemies at the same time, and he's able to use it without making eye contact, and from a really far distance. He's usually considered to be around Itachi's level when it comes to Genjutsu, and his eyes were considered a treasure. Obito was able to control the 4th Mizukage with his Genjutsu for years, proving that he already had powerful Genjutsu, and he still went out of his way to try to get Shisui's eye. On top of his ocular abilities, Shisui was hailed as Shisui the Teleporter, which is indicative of his speed, since he wouldn't be named that if he was slow or anything. This is displayed in the anime when he's moving so fast that the back images that he leaves take on physical form. Note that this is referring to the body flicker technique, not actual teleportation. It's how he managed to escape with the left eye even though he was still reeling from the effects of the Aburame paralysis poison. However, that's really all that I can say confidently about Shisui. He was considered above Itachi before Itachi awakened his Mangekyo Sharingan, which boosted Itachi to a whole new level. Even Sasuke, before awakening the EMS with just his Mangekyo, was able to kill a much stronger Danzo, and even though Danzo had to cheat against Shisui and paralyze him, the Danzo that faced Sasuke had 12 Sharingan, plus Shisui's eye, and he still lost. Danzo even uses a curse mark on Sasuke that paralyzes him, but Sasuke is able to break out of it with his Susanoo. He doesn't stack up against Obito or Madara, as together they can hold off the entire Shinobi alliance pretty much. Maybe you can give him Izuna and Fugaku because of just how featless they both are. I would assume Shisui's Kage level and could probably take on most Shinobi in a 1v1, but he doesn't have the feats to put him in that above Sannin bracket. Which goes back to my main point. Due to the promise he showed as a youngster, Shisui was targeted and never got the chance to contend with the other main Uchiha. I think we were robbed by not having a manga interpretation of the interaction that took place with Danzo. I'm sure that Kishimoto would have been able to do Shisui justice without it disturbing the original story. Then Shisui wouldn't be known as the guy that got off-screen by Danzo. Maybe if we get lucky and another popularity poll rises, and if Kishimoto is willing to put in the work and Shisui wins that one, then we can get to see the teleporter in action. I wish I had more to say, but that's really it. I was considering making a video about Danzo, so if you guys think that's a video worth making, please do let me know in the comments. Other than that, like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. Peace out.